By the way, this Eagles situation, I just don't get it with A.J. Brown. Like, I don't know why he's upset. Like, you're winning. You can get numbers. You can go get numbers. You can go play with Cleveland. They'll throw you the ball 15 times. Do you want that, or do you want to play in a structured offense that maybe you're not going to get as many targets, but you're going to win? And last I looked, isn't he getting paid like $30 million? This isn't about a paycheck. It feels like being selfish. And in this, in a sport like football, you can't have it. I get it. Wide receivers have been this way for the last 50 years. But that doesn't mean we have to tolerate it. And do I think he'll be on the team next year? Probably not. Can they win? Would they have won without him last year? No. Can they win without him moving forward? Well, we'll probably find out. But I don't understand that, and did they go rogue on that 4th and 6 play at the end of the game? Because it certainly sounds like that. And some of the players and those who are covering the team, they decided to change the play. 4th and 6, and Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown think they're going to somehow surprise everybody, which they did. They surprised everybody on their own team. They just didn't surprise the opposition. But isn't that wild? Now Nick Sirianni's asked about it, and then, he's got to act like he knows about it. And then he says, I'm tired of talking about this. Wow. This is why it's hard to repeat, because there's drama when there shouldn't be. And because you're thinking everybody's going to, share in this. Saquon Barkley's not getting the ball the way he did the previous year. I guess he could squawk and say, what about me? But you're still winning. You're still one of the favorites to go back to the Super Bowl. And that's not enough. And that's a shame. Because if A.J. Brown goes and ends up with the Texans, he'll just be a footnote. And you go, oh, who was the guy who didn't want to play with the Eagles? Oh, yeah, A.J. Brown. Where is he? He's in Carolina. Yes, Marvin.
Yeah, this might be one of those things where the Eagles in 15 years, and you start looking at everybody like, man, they only won one Super Bowl with all that talent, and this might be the catalyst.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, okay, he's got a quarterback who is not a great consistent passer, but he's a winner. And I'm not taking anything away from Jalen Hurts. I've said this before. If he's going to be throwing 35 times a game, Eagles aren't going to win those games. When it's balanced, he'll make big plays. You have guys who can make big plays. You have 2 really good receivers. You have a really good tight end. You have a great running back. Why mess with this? That's what I don't understand. Yeah, Paulie.
It's got to be frustrating. 2 years ago, A.J. Brown, 6.3 catches per game. He's down to under 4. It's pretty drastic. Yeah. But it's a team that's almost like the Cowboys back in the day. They ran the ball a lot. There wasn't a lot of opportunities to catch the ball. But Troy Aikman, I never heard him complain. There was no social media back then. But Troy Aikman could have said, I want to air it out more.
Or Michael Irvin could have said, hey, can we throw it? I'm always open.
Yeah, but you want to Super Bowls get you paid.
Who is the reason, or what is the reason, why A.J. Brown is not getting the same number of targets? Could it be him? Could it be head coach, philosophy? I guess, is it personal? That's what I'm baffled about with this. And I know he's quirky, read a book on the sidelines and all of this stuff. And he has been a great player. But this, you only get so many opportunities. Because how many times do we say this? Oh, somebody's going to, he's young, he'll get back there. And then they never get back to the big game to play for something bigger. Instead, you're playing for yourself. Yes, Ton.
And what's accomplished by complaining about that publicly? Don't you come across as a little bit of a whiner, making comments like, if you got me on your fantasy team, get rid of me because I'm not going to put up the numbers you're looking for? So I don't know what that thing, all of a sudden they're going to start throwing it to him more because he's saying these things, and I don't know.
Well, I think we did wonder about that. Wasn't there the next game after he complained and then he got a few more targets there? It felt like Nick Sirianni. Once again, Nick Sirianni always feels like he's on the hot seat. I think he's always going to be on the hot seat. It just feels that way. And I felt that way even after they won the Super Bowl. It just was weird. And then it never feels like he's got a true handle on his team. There's always something going on from the first play, prior to the first play of the season. Oh, yeah, Paulie.
Playing receiver for the Eagles is like playing receiver for Army football and complaining about targets. Jalen Hurts, he's the 25th ranked passer in the league for attempts. That means he's in the bottom 7 in attempts per game. They do not throw the ball a lot. Not even in the top 15, not even in the top 20. They don't throw the ball, and that's their plan.
Yeah. Yeah, Marv.
If the Eagles don't get to at least the NFC Championship game, Sirianni's in trouble.
I don't know. Once again, I've just felt like it's a weird situation. It's been that way. Then you had to fire both your coordinators. Now, you do win the Super Bowl. But even then, it just feels awkward. Yeah, Marv.
All right, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
If they lose to somebody besides the Detroit Lions, Nick Sirianni's in trouble.
Yeah, but the Rams could be playing better. I mean, the Rams have been great.
If they lose to a team besides the Lions, they should beat everyone else. That team's way too talented.
They could have lost to the Rams.
Oh,
at
they
home.
could have. They could have.
Yeah, but that was at home.
Right.
Okay, so if the Rams beat them this year, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
But Sirianni,
okay,
he's always going to be in the hot seat. They fired Doug Peterson 2 years after they won the Super Bowl.
I know.
So Super Bowl really doesn't mean much.
Yes, Todd.
Why does he give off a vibe that he's out of place or in over his head, or is that unfair? Do you get that feeling with Sirianni? I know they took play calling duties away. Maybe that feeds into it and all that, but he just has this vibe of like he doesn't fully get it, or this is a little much for him.
Once again, I just go back to the word awkward. It's like press conferences. It feels like are awkward now. He's got to, I got to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. It just feels like there's this undercurrent of drama. Yes, Dylan.
He was one of those guys who, like, his introductory press conference was a disaster at the time, and I don't think people forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, there are guys who just don't sound like they're a head coach. Like Jonathan Gannon, when he had his press conference, that wasn't boy, there's our leader there. Yes, Marvin.
Liam Cohen also. There's some guys, even Mike McDaniel, I was like, he's the head coach?
Yeah. Yes, Paul.
But the one thing with an A.J. Brown situation, he's not at all tailing off for his career. He's a big, strong wide receiver, still in his prime. I think he's under 30 years old. If your production was down or your ability was down or you were hurt, they would have sent him at the trade deadline, but he's not in that position yet. Russell in Philly. Hi, Russ. What's on your mind today?
Hey, good morning. First time, long time, 6'1", 210. So the other day you were talking about, first of all, you talked about West Point. Beautiful place. My son was invited there last year. We went up for a game day invite. But second point, after the 4th and 6th play, you see they panned the camera over to Nick Sirianni, and you can see him mouthing, why? So I don't understand it. Hopefully we get it together. A.J. Brown, stop being a prima donna, man. Let's go Eagles, go Birds.
I don't understand it. Okay, if you're on a suspect team, let's say you're on the Browns. Let's say you used to be a high-end receiver. You're on the Browns. You don't have a quarterback. You're not winning. It's a mess. And then you're complaining that you don't get your touches. Okay, I get that. I understand that. I understand that could be a personality trait. But you're with the Eagles, and you are winning. If you weren't winning, then you could say, hey, I'm going to help us win. Get me the ball. Yes, Marvin.
I could understand if he was in a contract year and needed to get paid, but he already got paid.
Yes, he gets paid. Yes. It's, I got to get my numbers so I can get paid. You got paid. We're going to pay you to not go rogue on a 4th and 6 here. We're going to pay you to not complain to the media. Just go. you get a myopic view sometimes. You get a selfish view. Guys will talk about their touches all the time. Shots. Hey, I'm not getting my shots. Okay. It doesn't mean you're going to get them because now you're complaining. But it does feel like as a wide receiver, they've always said, hey, I'm always open. Get me the ball. Go back to T.O. I mean, there's all, it's littered with wide receivers who are always open. Joe Montana and Steve Young would say, Jerry Rice would come back and say he's always open. Now, if Jerry said that, I'm going to believe him because he probably was open. But A.J. Brown, you got paid. You're the defending Super Bowl champs. God, wouldn't you want another ring? Then if you want to go someplace else, go. And that's when reality sets in. Yes, Paulie.
Remember back in the day when the Patriots were on their run and there'd be a wide receiver and he'd go out to Seattle and take a bigger contract and get more touches and the Patriots would be in the Super Bowl. And then they go back 3 years later.
Was that Deion Branch?
Yes, no names.
Yeah. No, he can put a name to it.
Yeah,
he wanted his touches. He got Super Bowl MVP. Hey, I'm going to go get paid. I understand that. But you also have to understand what you give up. How important is winning? Every day you go to practice, you know you have a chance to win that next game. Every season, you know you have a chance to win. I would think that would be the great incentive, the great elixir. I understand you can trade off money for success, but when you have both of them and you're A.J. Brown, that's what I don't understand. And maybe he doesn't respect his head coach. Maybe he has a problem with Jalen Hurts. But it feels like there's some reason why he's not getting as many touches. Yes, Marv.
But do you think also he might be thinking about his numbers for later on when he's trying to get into the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. Yeah, Paul.
Winning gets you in the Hall of Fame. You win 3 Super Bowls, and you don't have to have great stats. You could have good stats as a wide receiver and sneak in.
I mean, Draymond Green is not in the Hall of Fame if he plays in Charlotte.
Correct.
He's just not. I mean, Lynn Swann went in and John Stallworth went in. Now, granted, that's a whole different era, but Swanee didn't even have 400 catches, I don't think. But he had great moments in the Super Bowl. On the big stage, he played big. Winning, we love those who win. That's why, we kind of held the Buffalo Bills and Minnesota Vikings, those players accountable that you got to the Super Bowl, but you didn't win. Yeah, but they got to the Super Bowl. Yes, Todd.
Here's a crazy idea. Maybe he's done it, so who knows? But maybe A.J. Brown goes, hey, Jalen, can I talk to you for a minute? Hey, Coach, you got a minute? When there's no cameras and no lights and you're not being interviewed and you're not on Instagram and you're not doing a social media thing. Just,
okay.
Can I talk to you for a minute about something? Something's been on my mind. I'm not getting the ball enough.
How about the coach says, hey, Jalen, AJ, let's go out. Let's go to dinner. Let's talk. Let's figure this out. How do we make this better? It should be on the coach to be able to have the players, tell him what's going on.
Maybe you're assuming leadership qualities that aren't there.